Greetings, Marlowe. The three teams have been learning on all cylinders these last few weeks, and the Marlowe Moments crew has been there to capture it all. Let's see what the sixth grade team has been up to. Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael. In literacy, the students of 6th grade are reading Hatchet. The characters in the story are really great problem solvers. The main characters learn how to build his own shelter and cook his own food, just like we learn how to do in our foods.
And these are the teachers of 6-3. Mr. Danner, the social studies teacher, Mrs. Gronsky, the science teacher, Mr. Goglin, the math teacher, Mrs. Archambault, the literacy teacher, Mrs. Hansar, the literacy teacher, and Mrs. Burley, an assistant teacher.
Our math teacher, Mrs. Smith, makes sure math is fun to learn and helps us understand it. Algebra is learning linear regressions and normal math is learning circumference. Our two literacy teachers, Mrs. Haney and Mrs. Mowers, are so different in personalities, but have one common goal, helping us. We are currently learning vocab words and CBER prep. Our social studies teacher, Mrs. Larson, is fun and engaging towards us, and we are currently learning about types of governance. Our science teacher, Mrs. Bull, is very cheerful, and we are currently learning geology on Mars. In social studies, we did a gummy bear government project where we built governments out of gummy bears.
In literacy, we're working on writing an essay over suspenseful short stories we read. We are so lucky to have Miss Miller and Miss Gosser as our literacy teachers this year.
In social studies, we are learning about the Civil War, Reconstruction plans, the arguments between the North and the South, slavery, and more. Students are looking forward to taking their trip to Washington, D.C. in just under a week. Miss Smith is a great social studies teacher, and we are beyond grateful to have her.
In math, we are learning about dilating 3D figures on a coordinate plane, rigid motion transformations, and working on scale factors. We are excited to begin our next unit. Thank you for all you do, Mr. Hagberg.
Science, we are using hands-on skills to create never-before-seen creatures and villages. We are currently working on learning about energy to see when energy is being used in our daily lives. Mrs. K is an amazing teacher, and we are beyond grateful to have her as our science teacher. We couldn't imagine science without her.
Students in Miss Dasabeto's class were hard at work last week learning all about cooking. These students even had an opportunity to engage in a sensory brain break. What a great way to wrap up or begin the lesson.
Good job! Yay! You can do the whole puzzle all by yourself. Give me 5. Gotta get my...
If you could live in a fictional story, movie, or book, what would you want to be in?
I would want to be in Wonder to help a kid not get made fun of.
I would choose Percy Jackson because I like Greek myths and it's interesting.
What are you looking forward to in 8th grade?
I'm looking forward to the DC trip. The Six Flags trip.
I want to make sure that I give you the best hands-on science experience ever that makes you want to take science as you go to high school and college.
Well, it's time for the Marlowe Moments crew to drive off into the sunset, looking forward to the road ahead and sharing what the three teams are up to.